In this lesson, we will learn about Schema Operations Master. First, we will start with answering the question, what is Active Directory Schema, its uses and behavior? After that, we will learn more about the Schema Partition of an Active Directory database. This will allow us to understand the permission of the Schema Operation Master role and the Schema Admins group. Finally, we will sum up the lesson with the keynotes. So what is Active Directory Schema? Active Directory Schema defines two containers. Classes container is to store all object classes in the ID forest. Attributes container is to store attributes of all object classes in the ID forest. So in the classes container, we can create new classes, for example, user class or computer class. However, to associate attributes with a class, the attributes must be defined in the attributes container first. Then these attributes can be added to a class to describe the object. For example, we associate a subset of these attributes to the computer class to describe the computer object, and we added a subset of these attributes to the user class to describe the user object. So how an ID object is created? To create new objects, ID checks in the ID schema to find the class defines the objects. The class then can be used as a template to instantiate new objects of the class. Therefore, these objects have the same set of attributes. For example, to create new user objects for itlifeskills.local domain, Active Directory checks in the ID schema to get the user class. The user class then can be used to instantiate new user objects, for example, user A and user B. As you can see, user A and user B have the same set of attributes, but they may have different values. What happens when a new attribute added to a class? When a new attribute is added to a class in Active Directory schema, that attribute will be replicated and populated in all existing objects of that class in the entire ID forest. For example, in the user class, now we add a new attribute, project code. The project code attribute will be replicated and populated to the user A and user B and all new users created in itlifeskills.local domain. So where is ID schema stored? ID schema is stored in the schema partition of the ID database. The schema partition is created in the root domain when the first DC in the forest is built. Due to the change to ID schema is very impactful to the ID forest, it is critical to have the schema partition owned by only one domain controller to prevent any conflicts from happening. In Active Directory, the schema partition is owned by only one domain controller assigned with Schema Master role in the root domain. The Schema Operation Master, therefore, is the only DC that can create new classes or attributes and process updates to the directory schema. Other DC can only read the schema to create new objects, When a schema update happens, it is replicated from the schema master role to all other DCs in the directory like this. As we know, the Schema Operation Master role only exists in the root domain. However, the Schema Operation Master role can be transferred to any domain controllers in the root domain. Therefore, there is only one Schema Operation Master role per forest. Let's take a look at this Active Directory system. In the root domain it-lifeskills.local, we have two domain controllers. Therefore, we can transfer the schema master role from GPVDC01 to GPVDC02 like this. As you can see, after the role transfer complete, GPVDC01 can only read the schema partition, and GPVDC02 can read, write, and create new classes and attributes in the schema partition. Let's open the Active Directory schema using ADSI Edit tool. Here we right-click on ADSI Edit, then click on Connect to, then select Schema, then click OK. Here we expand the schema and right-click and click on Properties. As you can see, currently the domain controller GPVDC01 is the owner of the schema, which means it is holding the Schema Operation Master role. Now let's click on Security tab and click on the Schema Admins group. As you can see, the Schema Admin group has the read, write, and create all child objects permission on the schema. As you can see from this screenshot, members of Schema Admins group have read, write, and create all child objects on the ID schema. For security reasons, the Schema Admins group is usually left empty. Add accounts to the Schema Admins group only when the accounts are used to update ID to a newer version. Add attributes to ID objects such as installing Exchange Server or transfer ID schema master role. This is the end of this lesson. Let's read the keynotes.